Albert Einstein is known as one of the greatest scientists in history, a revolutionary thinker who transformed our understanding of the universe. With his groundbreaking theory of relativity, he proved that the laws of physics are not fixed, and that time and space are not separate entities but deeply interconnected. Einstein also played a crucial role in the development of the atomic bomb, which contributed to the end of World War II. His work has had an extraordinary impact on the world, inspiring countless technological innovations. His intelligence and creativity continue to inspire people all over the world to this day. In fact, he was so brilliant that he became the very symbol of intelligence itself. It's no surprise that he is often regarded as the most genius mind in history. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in the city of Ulm, in the Kingdom of Württemberg, in what is now Germany. He was the eldest of two children born to Hermann and Pauline Einstein. Einstein was not a child prodigy. In fact, he started speaking relatively late, only beginning to talk at the age of 3. This worried his parents so much that they even consulted a doctor, fearing he might have developmental issues. He also struggled in school and was often seen as a slow learner. Despite these early challenges, Einstein showed a strong passion for learning from a young age. He was always curious about the world around him, deeply fascinated by mathematics and the laws of nature. He spent much of his time exploring the mysteries of the universe. At the age of 10, Einstein began educating himself under the guidance of his uncle, Jacob Einstein, who provided him with books for the years ahead. This allowed him to read and understand complex subjects before they were even taught in class, enabling him to excel academically without actively participating in lessons. By the age of 12, he had taught himself Euclidean geometry, and by 15, he had already mastered differential and integral calculus. Einstein preferred doing things his own way rather than strictly following his teacher's guidelines. In 1895, at the age of 16, he set his sights on studying electrical engineering. He enrolled in the diploma program at the Zurich Polytechnic. However, Einstein wasn't particularly fond of his classes. He often skipped lectures, choosing instead to spend his time in coffee houses and beer halls. To pass his exams, Einstein even copied notes from his classmate Marcel Grossmann, which helped him achieve the highest grades in his group, surpassing Grossmann himself. During his college years, Einstein began developing some of his earliest ideas. He successfully passed his final exams, earned his diploma, and went on to teach mathematics and physics. He aspired to become an assistant professor, but his rebellious nature made it difficult for him to find a mentor willing to take him in. After graduating in 1900, Einstein spent 2 years searching for a job until the father of his classmate, Marcel Grossmann, helped him secure a position as a patent examiner at the Federal Office for Intellectual Property in Bern, Switzerland. At the Patent Office, Einstein was responsible for evaluating patent applications for various inventions. By 1902, he along with his new friends Conrad Habicht and Maurice Solovine, formed a small discussion group called the Olympia Academy. They regularly gathered at Einstein's apartment to discuss physics and philosophy. This group played a crucial role in Einstein's intellectual development. Einstein was a true visionary, thinking far ahead of his time. Many of the groundbreaking ideas he developed during this period were not widely recognized until 15 years later. The year 1905 is known as Albert Einstein's miracle year. This is because he published 4 groundbreaking papers in the journal Annalen der Physik, which made major contributions to the foundations of modern physics. These papers completely transformed our understanding of space, time, mass, and energy. Shortly after, Einstein was invited to lecture at several international conferences, such as the Solvay Conference, and his academic career began to flourish. He was offered a series of prestigious positions at renowned institutions, including the University of Zurich, the University of Prague, the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, and eventually the University of Berlin. From 1913 to 1933, he served as the director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Physics. It was during this time that Einstein transformed his appearance from a neatly dressed office worker into the iconic figure we recognize today. His teaching style was just as unconventional. His students were free to interrupt him at any time during lectures, and they often spent time together in cafes or even at his home for discussions. In November 1915, Einstein finally completed his general theory of relativity, which is considered his masterpiece. He was confident in its accuracy, not only because of its mathematical elegance but also because it precisely predicted the precession of Mercury's orbit around the Sun. His theory also forecasted the measurable deflection of light as it passed near the Sun. 2 expeditions were sent to test Einstein's prediction about the bending of starlight near the Sun. One traveled to Principe Island, off the coast of West Africa, while the other went to Sobral in northern Brazil to observe the solar eclipse on May 29, 1919. On November 6, the results were announced in London at a joint meeting of the Royal Society and the Royal Astronomical Society. The findings confirmed Einstein's theory, and almost overnight, he became the most famous physicist in the world, hailed as the successor to Isaac Newton. From that moment on, invitations poured in for Einstein to speak across the globe. He traveled to the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and even Japan. Wherever he went, thousands gathered to hear him speak. It was during this time that he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics, not for his theory of relativity, but for his discovery of the photoelectric effect. Albert Einstein received honorary doctorates in science, medicine, and philosophy from numerous universities across Europe and America. He also earned many prestigious awards in recognition of his work, including the Copley Medal from the Royal Society of London and the Franklin Medal from the Franklin Institute. During a visit to California, Einstein was asked to appear alongside legendary comic actor Charlie Chaplin in his Hollywood debut film, City Lights. In this moment, Chaplin famously said, "People applaud me because everyone understands me, and they applaud you because no one understands you." Einstein, curious, asked, "What does that mean?" Chaplin replied, "Nothing." In 1932, Einstein left Germany for good, knowing that his life was in danger there. The Nazi regime published magazines featuring images of Einstein with a caption that read, "Not yet hanged." In those pages, there was even a bounty placed on his head. Einstein settled at the newly established Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. He was granted permanent residency in the United States in 1935 and became a U.S. citizen in 1940, although he chose to retain his Swiss citizenship. During the late 1930s, physicists began to seriously consider the possibility that Einstein's theory of relativity might make it possible to create the atomic bomb. Some physicists eventually discovered that a large amount of energy could be released by splitting uranium atoms. This news sent shockwaves through the physics community. In July 1939, physicist Leo Szilard persuaded Einstein to write a letter to U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, urging him to develop the atomic bomb. Roosevelt responded, informing Einstein that he had set up the Uranium Committee to study the matter. Although Einstein's equation laid the foundation for the entire atomic bomb development project, known as the Manhattan Project, he was never invited to participate. Einstein was on vacation when he heard the news that the atomic bomb had been dropped on Japan. Shortly after, he became part of an international effort to control nuclear weapons, helping to establish the Emergency Committee of Atomic Scientists. Despite continuing to pioneer significant advancements in general relativity, such as wormholes, higher dimensions, the possibility of time travel, the existence of black holes, and theories about the creation of the universe, Einstein became increasingly isolated from the physics community. As quantum theory made groundbreaking discoveries about atoms and molecules, most physicists shifted their focus toward quantum mechanics rather than relativity. In his final years, he stopped traveling long distances and limited himself to walks around Princeton with close friends, engaging in deep discussions about politics, religion, physics, and his quest for a unified field theory. Upon Einstein's death, Morse, a photographer for Life magazine, rushed to Princeton as quickly as possible. He later wrote, "Einstein passed away at Princeton Hospital, so I headed there first. But everything was chaotic. Journalists, photographers, and onlookers flooded the place. So instead, I made my way to Einstein's office at the Institute for Advanced Study. On the way, I stopped to buy a bottle of scotch. I knew people might be reluctant to talk, but most were happy to accept a bottle of liquor rather than money in exchange for their help. So, I went to the building, found the custodian, handed him a fifth of scotch, and yes, he unlocked the office. When Morse finally entered Einstein's office, he took a single photograph of the desk where Albert Einstein had been working just hours earlier. By then, Einstein's body had already been cremated, and no one had managed to capture a final photograph of him. Thus, the image of his desk, taken by Morse, became the last iconic photograph of Albert Einstein's career. Albert Einstein passed away at the age of 76 at Princeton Hospital. During his final years, as his health declined, Albert Einstein remained dedicated to working on his theories. He left behind hundreds of scientific and non-scientific works, with a total archive of more than 30,000 documents. Thomas Harvey, a doctor at Princeton Hospital, performed an autopsy and, without the family's permission, preserved Einstein's brain for future neuroscience research. He hoped to uncover the reason behind Einstein's extraordinary intelligence. From this, we can see once again why Albert Einstein is considered one of the greatest geniuses of all time. Einstein passed away due to internal bleeding caused by the rupture of an abdominal aortic aneurysm, a condition he had been dealing with for years. In 1948, 7 years before his death, Einstein underwent surgery to prevent the aneurysm from rupturing. The doctor who treated him wrote that for several years, Einstein suffered from episodes of upper abdominal pain, usually lasting for 2 to 3 days and often accompanied by vomiting. These attacks typically occurred every 3 to 4 months. Despite the pain, Einstein continued his work. He published papers well into the 1950s, and even on the day of his death in 1955, he was working on a speech he was scheduled to deliver on Israeli television. He had brought the draft of that speech with him to the hospital. The draft of that speech was never completed. Until his final moments, Albert Einstein pushed himself to the very limit. He was never complacent, he continued working even through intense physical pain and in the face of death. Einstein was widely known for his relentless work ethic, which many found almost terrifying. He believed that he was driven by his deep curiosity. It was this immense curiosity that motivated him to pursue scientific ideas and projects, many of which remain relevant and applicable to this day. Albert Einstein worked 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, for years. He had an exceptional ability to focus for long periods and immerse himself deeply in thought. However, his obsession with work and his research not only took a toll on his health but also affected other aspects of his life, especially his relationships. Unlike his predecessors, Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, and Nikola Tesla, who never married, Einstein was married twice. Yet like those brilliant minds before him, he lived in a world of ideas, lost in his own thoughts. He was a genius, but what made him truly exceptional was his unwavering dedication and the immense amount of time he devoted to his work. Einstein first married Mileva Maric and later, married his cousin, Elsa Einstein. In 1912, Einstein wrote to Elsa, describing his wife, Mileva, as an unfriendly and humorless person. In another letter, he stated, "I treat my wife like an employee I cannot fire. I have my own bed and avoid being alone with her." By 1914, Einstein and Mileva had separated, and Mileva eventually suffered from a nervous breakdown. Before their separation, Einstein had even presented Mileva with a list of conditions for continuing their marriage. He wrote, "A. You will ensure that my clothes and linens are kept in order. That I am served 3 regular meals a day in my room. B. You will renounce all personal relations with me, except when required for social appearances. You will not expect any affection from me. You must leave my bedroom or workspace immediately, without protest, when I request it. Mileva was forced to agree, but the marriage remained troubled due to distance and Einstein's affairs with younger women who did not make emotional demands on him. However, Einstein was a caring father when his sons were young. But as time went on, he spent more and more time lost in his thoughts. After the divorce, he rarely saw his children, choosing to focus on his work instead. His son, Edward, suffered from recurring mental illness and multiple suicide attempts, eventually passing away in a psychiatric hospital. Einstein never visited him for more than 3 decades. His other son, Hans Albert, was once quoted saying, "Perhaps the only project he ever abandoned was family." This is the real-life version of Faustian bargain. For the great success he achieved, he sacrificed everything: his time, his health, and his family. Yet despite it all, he left an undeniable impact on the world. For the advancement of humanity in science, for his obsession, he sacrificed himself. Einstein was far ahead of his time. His work continued to win Nobel Prizes for future physicists. In 1993, the Nobel Prize was awarded to the discoverers of gravitational waves, a phenomenon Einstein had predicted. In 1995, another Nobel Prize was given for the discovery of Bose-Einstein condensate. Even today, many leading physicists are striving to complete Einstein's ultimate dream, the theory of everything. This is the story of a child who couldn't speak until he was 3 years old. A rebellious teenager who often skipped class to spend time in coffee houses and beer halls. He was creative and confident. His obsession with his work was so intense that he was willing to sacrifice anything to pursue it. Einstein understood a fundamental truth: those who stay dedicated, focused, work hard, and never give up will eventually see the results. He was a true visionary. He thought far ahead and believed he could influence lives. Despite the difficult and rough path, he never hesitated to walk it. Einstein remained focused on his dreams, pursued them until the very end, and achieved them. He shaped himself into one of the greatest geniuses the world has ever known, a Nobel Prize-winning mad scientist who became synonymous with genius itself. He was Albert Einstein. Thank you.